Hey everybody, it's David Pingree. We're out here today at Pala Raceway, getting our chance on the 2018 FC 450 Husqvarna. And there's a couple of changes new for this bike this year. The primary change is to the suspension. Different setting in the fork end shock, different seal in there that just creates a little bit less friction as it moves and gives it a little bit smoother action. So we're going to come up with a good setting for you today on that. Bold new graphics as per usual on new motorcycles, and also a change. If you had one of the early 17 models, they came with a Magura brake, and somewhere mid-season they kind of switched over to Brembo. Moving forward, everything Husqvarna will be Brembo from here on out. So I think the Brembo has a little bit better feel, just a little bit better brake all the way around. So that's a good change. If you're getting an 18, you know it'll come with a Brembo. So we're gonna take this thing out, get it on the track, have some fun, and we'll get back to you with some feedback. Do that much stuff, they're gonna back out of something, you know. Again. We put some time on our Husqvarna 450, and we came away really impressed. This bike is, you know, they don't like to be compared to the KTM, and there are a lot of differences between the two. For instance, this bike has a different swing arm, a little bit less material, which gives it a little bit more flex and changes the character of the bike, makes it a little more compliant in little bumps, and gives it more of a supple feel. Same with the handlebars. Different handlebars, different sweep to them. They flex a little bit more, and it gives you a little more comfort. To me, I like actually both of those things, and you can feel it on here. One thing that I am very impressed with on this bike is they come just really spot on with their settings. So the forks are 12 out, so all the way in, 12 out, compression and rebound. Shock is 15, all the way in, 15 out, compression and rebound, and 2 turns out on the high speed. Sag is recommended at 105. It's where we set it. And literally the only thing I touched today was the high speed, and I went in 1/4 of a turn. So I'm at 1 3/4 of a turn out. And all that was just to find a balance. I talk about that a lot, trying to get your bike balanced. If you ever feel like when you come into turns, you're stink bug, or if you're coming out of turns, it feels like it's squatted down, that really changes the handling characteristic of your bike, and you've got to find it, you've got to get it balanced before you can work on making it handle. So I talk about that a lot. You can do that through sag numbers. You can do that through high-speed compression, in and out. That'll let the bike sit up or sit down. You can do it with fork height in the tubes. There's a lot of different ways to do it. Air pressure in the fork. But like I said, if you go with their standard setting, which as you can see here, 10.8 bar, it's really good. It's really close. And I would say for the vast majority of people buying this bike, you're gonna be spot on. Maybe like I would suggest for some folks, maybe a turn in on the rebound. The fork can kind of bounce back out at you a little bit at times. By me turning the high-speed compression on the shock, I weighted the front end a little bit more, found that balance, and it kept it from doing it. But it's something you may feel, so keep that in mind. But really close on the settings on this bike. It's super impressive. Another thing that's different about the Husqvarna 450, it comes with a European compliance silencer. So if you look in there, there's a baffle inside of there. It does make it a little quieter. To me, it feels very choked off. So if I was looking for a modification, I would find a slip-on muffler. The header on this thing is tough to beat. Just find a slip-on muffler that you'll save some weight, you'll get some power, better looks, better sound, the whole deal. Just my 2 cents. Went through the maps on this thing again. We had a really deep track today on the Pro Track here at Pala. That track was perfect, nice and sticky, and so I kind of bounced back and forth. In the really deep stuff, I love the aggressive map. It just more power, picks up harder, and it helped me get out of some of the turns. On the vet track, it was too much, too sticky, too much traction. I was wheeling. I went back to the standard map, perfect. So that standard map's where most folks are going to end up. The map 2, if it's sandy, if you're at elevation, big hills, you're a bigger guy, you might like that. It does give you some noticeably more pickup and more acceleration. It's just, for me, I find it's harder for me to be consistent with that extra power if traction is good and you're at sea level and all those things. As per usual, all of the components on the Husky are great. Really good brakes. The clutch feels really nice. They've made a lot of improvements in that. It used to be kind of an on or off feeling, and I wasn't a real big fan of that. You couldn't actuate it with your finger at all. But just through developing it, they've got to where it almost feels like a cable pull, but you have the automatic adjustment and you know, all of the upsides of the hydraulic clutch. So I really like that. I do have a problem once in a while with this, the foot pedals. So the brake and the shifter both feel like they're a little bit too far out for me. And I got little elf feet. They're size 8s, so I have a hard time sometimes catching them. They had said in the past, guys said they were too close, so they've moved them out. So for me, I may look at aftermarket shift pedals, brake levers, and try to find something that's a little closer to the pegs, just to suit me. That's totally personal preference. But all in all, really, really stoked on this bike. Love the way it looks. This is a great motorcycle. Husqvarna did an awesome job. Thanks to them for letting us bring it out. You can look for this thing down the road. We're going to make a project machine out of this. Should be a lot of fun. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.